Hey guys, it's Joel, aka J Rose. For those of you who hey
Bombastic side eye.
Not talk too much. Yeah. Ooh. Lady. La, la, la. Need the girl them want.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Joel, aka J Rose. And for those of you who don't know who J Rose is, if you know, you know. J Rose is my artist name. I have changed it. I know a lot of you guys know me as Joel, which is what I had it as before, but J Rose was kind of a bit of a new artistic approach that I want to take, and just rebranding myself and rebranding my whole image and what I want to do with my music endeavors.
Oh my god! Wow!
But make sure, now that I'm on it, that you guys subscribe to my YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, etc. I do still have my few songs out now. I think I have about 3 songs currently out. New music to come. I've been writing a lot and just wanting to go to the studio to put out a lot of more content. So just stay tuned, because I promise I will be releasing new music very soon. So thank you to all of you who have been motivating me, by the way, over the last few years on my musical journey and me singing and being in the studio. For those of you who know, I've always loved to sing. I've been singing since I was a child, really, and that's always been my passion. And so those who actually support me and actually reach out to me and want to hear more from me, I appreciate you guys a lot, because you guys motivate me and keep me going. And it's definitely essential to my creative process and just finding the lyrics and when the music comes to me. So thank you guys again.
Whoever you are, thank you.
And the last time I think I posted a video was about 2 years ago during the pandemic. That was like a lockdown update. I'm sure everybody was doing those. Just about how I was doing during the pandemic, how I'm keeping myself busy, staying mentally sane. You know, unfortunately, a lot of individuals, even some that I know closely, have lost relatives, loved ones, etc. to the pandemic. So we just want to take a moment for them. Our heart goes out to them, and we want to definitely pray for them and check up on them if you haven't checked up on them, see how they're doing. You know, take them out, you know, occupy them and just keep them company, because even though it was 2 years ago, time isn't a factor when you lose somebody, especially a loved one, somebody close to you, anybody really. So just make sure you're checking up on them. But anyways, to get started, I want to start with what I have been doing, well, since that last video I've been making. So after the pandemic, I've really I gained what they call COVID weight. I gained about 40 pounds during the pandemic, and I realized it was time to change and time to become more healthy. So I was definitely working on my diet a lot. Those of you who do know me know that I've been studying the gym for about 8 months now, but the diet and the whole changing my, you know, healthy, or I should say my nutrition, has been definitely about a 1.5 year battle. Something that I'm still working on, but I've gotten a lot better at. I have lost a lot of weight. My body has transformed. I shrunk numerous sizes in what I used to wear. So I'm definitely on the right track. And I feel a lot better. You know, spiritually, I definitely have become closer to God. And my beliefs have definitely strengthened over this pandemic, definitely, and just over the last few years, because the last few years, despite the pandemic, were very hard for me in particular. A lot of change, a lot of growth, a lot of accepting uncomfortability with different things, and just a lot of growing overall. So that's definitely been a theme over the last few years, which I'm grateful for, because I have grown exponentially since the last video that I made. Even watching it, I feel like I was in a whole different place. The whole vibe is different, but I'm better now. So I want to kind of start with the whole spirituality thing. So I have had a relationship with God for as long as I can remember. I've had a lot of instances where I've seen God. I've had interactions with God through other people, through messages, different things. And I've always known there was a God, but my faith would waver every now and then, especially when something tragic would happen into my life. And I would always say, you know, if God is real, why would he, you know, allow me to go through this? And I know a lot of you guys probably ask the same questions. You know, when we lose somebody, sometimes, you know, it's hard to get, you know, reasoning for that, and it doesn't make sense, and that's totally understandable. And I get that. And not even just death, but so many other things that happen to us in life. We wonder why God is allowing this. If there is such a good God who, preaches good word and such that we read in the Bible and that we hear through stories, why would he allow these things to happen? And I prayed about that. I prayed about that a lot over my life. And each and every time I feel like I got a message and God showed me. But I just want to kind of tap into that instance, and certain instance that I had that really changed my relationship with God, for the rest of my life moving forward. And there was a time in my life where I was going through something very hard, something very personal. Those who know me very close know what happened. And my faith was being tested, I believe. I think God was definitely putting me through a test. And he was testing my faith, but this was all to strengthen me, because as they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and it definitely made me stronger. But essentially, I went to my knees because I couldn't take it anymore, and I said, God, if you are really listening to me, if you are really there, I need your help through this. Like, I need your help. But I didn't realize when I was praying to God for help, I was praying to God to change the situation wholeheartedly without the participation of myself. And as they say, God helps people who help themselves. And I was missing the help themselves part and just wanting God to help me. And that's where I was wrong. And so, in short, when I was praying to God, eventually a few days later, I got an answer. And it wasn't God directly speaking to me per se, but it was God speaking through somebody else. So I had an instance where there was an individual who came to me who was in desperate need of help financially and in other matters. And I was in a situation where I was able to help them. And I remember as I helped them, the person told me that God will bless me 10 times fold for that, and that they believed I was an angel. And I said I wasn't an angel. I was just doing what any other person should do if they can do. I always say, if you can help somebody and you have the means to help somebody, help them, because that always pays back, and good karma pays back. I'd rather have good karma in the atmosphere than bad karma in the atmosphere. So it was after that situation and other numerous conversations with God that I realized I was being selfish. And as I was wanting God to fix everything, just to touch my life and fix it. And I remember realizing that I have to put the work in. And when I realized I had to put the work in, I felt kind of uncomfortable. I didn't really like that. I didn't like the fact that I also too had to take part in my own growth. And I know that sounds weird, but when you're in that situation where you feel like your whole world's falling apart, the last things, some of us are thinking is about doing anything. Some of us just want to curl up in a ball and just like never get up out of bed. Different people handle things differently. And for me, I was really stressed. It was one of the most stressful times of my life, but God told me that I have to get up and I have to work for what I want. And so I did. And as I was working, God kept adding more. It was like almost like a savings account. When you put in and your parents match what you put in, it was like a similar kind of thing. God was matching the same amount of effort that I put into my life, and I felt that. And it made me realize that God helps people who help themselves. I finally understood what that meant. And when it comes to why bad things happen on this earth, and why bad things happen to good people if there's a God, I've also come to realize that every single individual on this earth has what we call free agency, which is the ability to do really whatever you'd like, albeit facing your respective consequences depending on what you're doing. But all of us have the free agency to do whatever we'd like. And God has given us this free agency so we can exercise our faith. Because as they say, faith is being sure of what you hope for. So those who exercise their faith to believe in a God that they necessarily not have physically seen, God will bless you for that. And as far as other things that happen in the world, like murder, hunger, and all these different types of things, I do believe in God puts us through trials and God puts us through certain things. But I believe that God does not put us through things that we cannot handle. I cannot speak for why murder goes on in the world, why world hunger is a thing. I cannot speak on those types of things. But I do know that there is a God, and I do know that God does love us. When we turn to him, God will help us. Now that's not necessarily an answer to that question, and it's not necessarily supposed to be, because I'm only flesh and blood. I'm not a God, so I can't answer that question. But I understand why things happen in this earth because of the conversations that I've had with God. And that's up to you to have your own conversation with God. And if you have your own point of view that doesn't necessarily align with mine, that's fine as well, because we're all entitled to our own thoughts and opinions on certain things, but I'm only speaking from my experience. So as I said, spirituality has definitely been something I have been exercising a lot more. And as I have started to exercise a lot more and put more faith into God, because a lot of it requires putting faith actively into God and knowing that God really does have you. As they say, like, let Jesus take the wheel, and you have to really believe that God can perform miracles in your life, and God really can change you. And that was something that I realized, and I realized it with time, and now I fully devote myself to God, and I fully give my life to God, because I do trust him, and God has never led me astray and has never let me down. So my relationship with God has been stronger than it ever was. And as my relationship started to get stronger with God, I've noticed things that were of the world started to trickle out of my life and started to show itself. So one day I went on my knees to God and I said, God, if there's anything in my life, if it's any object, if it's anything on social media, if it's anybody who I'm talking to, anything in my life that is hindering me to have a great and strong connection with you, God, reveal it to me. Reveal it to me spiritually, reveal it to me physically, emotionally, and in any form, so that I may remove that out of my life and remove that hindrance, so that I can allow your love to flow freely through my heart and my soul. And I remember when I said that prayer, I noticed each and every day there was different things that started to trickle out of my life. Sometimes it was people, sometimes it was jobs even, sometimes it was opportunities that I had to end up declining just for my own peace and for my own sake and for my own spiritual progression. And I noticed that life started to become a lot less heavy and burdened, and it started to make a lot more sense. And my spirit and my faith and my testimony has increased and got stronger as each day gone by. And I remember after the pandemic, and the pandemic's really not over, it's never really over, but after lockdown and after everything was trying to get back to what we call the new normal, I remember I said a prayer for the world and everybody's mental health, because everybody has been affected by this, indirectly or directly. Unfortunately, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, there's so many factors and so many things that went on during this pandemic. And I said a prayer for everybody just to enlighten them and to almost take the weights and take the shackles off of them that have been placed on them for the 2 years that we were in lockdown, and not being able to socialize and not going to work and not visiting family for some time, because there was a point in time we weren't allowed to visit family or friends or have people over and different kind of things. And mentally that broke some people. Some people didn't make it out of the pandemic, unfortunately, and that's very, very, very sad to really think about. So I had to say a prayer over the world, and I said it with a few other people from my church, and I prayed over my family and I prayed over everybody else. And I started to feel almost as if weights were being lifted off of people's shoulders, almost like from a subconscious level. And it's hard to explain, but it was definitely an out-of-body experience. And I just remember being thankful for God and just thanking God for everything that He's done in my life thus far, and just keeping me here on this earth still. I was fortunate to never have COVID directly, so I am very, very, very grateful. And I'm just grateful for life. And there's other things in my life that I've definitely been taking more focus on since the pandemic and since that last video too, which is also, as I said, my health and just eating better, treating my body a lot better, and just working out too as well, because I never knew how important working out was until I started doing it. I always would start a health diet, going to the gym. That would last maybe about 2 weeks and I'd be done. And this is the first time that I've actually dedicated myself. I go to the gym 5, sometimes 6 days a week, and I have been eating healthy. I have been, feeling a lot better. My skin has been, the best it ever was. I feel a lot stronger. I shrunk a lot of sizes, and this is I feel physically the strongest and the best that I've ever felt in my whole life thus far. So I'm definitely grateful for that. And on top of that, I've been also working on new music. I've been writing, because as I said, I had a lot of downtime to write a lot of music. So I do have a lot of things coming up soon, a lot of ideas and things that I'm going to be working out, and you guys will know eventually. But I have been in the works of new music for quite some time now, and I'm sitting on a lot of songs, a lot of different songs that I've wrote, some during the pandemic, so some of it's very relevant to what I was going through the pandemic, but through also other aspects of my life, even my faith and different things. I'm going to be touching gospel, definitely. I do have some gospel songs and songs about God that I want to release. And yeah, as I said, stay tuned and you'll see. I do have a lot of new ideas and new branding. As I said, I'm re-promoting myself, and I'm redesigning who I am and rebranding myself for sure. So you're going to see a whole different side of me, and the music that I have there now is definitely an era in my life that I'm proud of and I'm happy for. It's the first few songs that I've ever put out officially, so I'm proud, but that is a closed chapter, and this is a whole new chapter of me. So everything that you hear from now on out is going to be new, and God willing, I want to be on this earth for a long time. I want to have many different eras where I'm only progressing and going up, not going down. And I think that's the beauty of growth, and that's the beauty of changing and really learning from your old mistakes into making your better self, today for tomorrow. So that's definitely how I been getting through the pandemic, getting through life. I like to write music. I can write music almost every day, every minute if I could. That's where I feel most comfortable. And some other things I've been doing is I've been learning the guitar. So I believe in the last video I was talking about how I was learning the guitar. And since then I've actually almost fully learned the guitar. I still have a few more things to work on, but I am a lot better. I can actually, sing songs while playing now. My dexterity has gotten a lot better, also to reading the notes. And that's something I'm really proud of, because I've always wanted to learn the guitar since I was small, in first grade. And I finally am almost scratching that off my list of things to do. And that's another thing too. I made a list of things that I want to do and I want to accomplish within a certain amount of years. So I asked myself when I was 20 years old what I want to accomplish when I'm 25, and to write that down so that I never forget that, and to put little squares beside it and to check off each thing that I accomplish, and as that comes by, just so that not only do I have things to look forward to, but I have a reason to push myself further than ever, and a reason to explore different opportunities and open new doors. And I think that's very important, because a lot of us, when we get in our 20s, a lot of us settle for different things, and we do things that we think we're gonna like, and we switch. And it's okay, because we're young and we're still finding out who we are. But when I turned 20, I wanted to write things that I've always wanted to, even if they're ridiculous things, or things like saying, you want to go, own a house on the island, or buy your own island, anything like that, because you never know which way life can blow. You never know. So there's never a dream that's too big. And I always say that I never limit myself. I always say, shoot for the sky, and if you miss, you're still amongst the stars. And that was from one of my favorite songs, but it's so true, because when I made this list, there were some things that some would call unrealistic for your average 25-year-old, but for me, I'm not setting myself on limits, because as I said, I call in all positivity, I call in success, new opportunities, new things. So I'm definitely grateful for that. And anyways, I made the list, and out of the 20 things that I put down, 6 of them have already been checked. And it's just a coincidence. I wasn't even actively working to do these things. It kind of came my way. So that was kind of a full circle moment for me. But I still continue planning on checking out the rest of them and actually expanding my list. Now, when I turn 25, I'm going to do one when I turn 30, and then 35, and then 40 every 5 years. And I want to do like a review on myself after the 5 years and see the things that I checked, and to see how far I came along, and to tell myself that I am doing enough. Because a lot of the times you get stuck in feeling like you're not doing enough, when in reality we are doing enough. And we have to give ourselves credit, because we're so quick to beat ourselves down on the things that we're not doing, and we are never quick to actually big ourselves up on the things that we are doing. And I think we always need to take that moment to have a perfect balance, because it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable where you are, and to feel that you're getting too comfortable with the situation, and that you want to progress and push yourself for more, because I believe you should always push yourself for more. Like, you can always do better than you did, but you have to understand it requires balance. You don't want to be unhealthy. You don't want to actively be pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion and frustration and wanting to give up, because that's not going to help at all. But it's definitely okay to give yourself some expectations as to what you want to do, and to have a clear, concise idea of what you want to do. I actually admire people who say that they have this idea and they follow it through, because that means that they have self-discipline and that they have a good sense of direction as to where their life should go. And if you have a good sense of direction as to where your life should go, that's great. And don't let anybody tell you just because you're in your 20s, it's a time to have fun and party and not care, because your 20s is the foundation of the rest of your life. These decisions and things that you make now in your 20s, your early 20s, your late 20s, doesn't matter. It's going to affect the rest of your life. Now, it's okay to have fun. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to learn, because we are still young, but don't use it as a crutch to be irresponsible and to not care, because it really is going to affect the rest of your life. Now, you know, if I've realized that and you think it's too late, it's not too late, because if you come to the point of realization, that's the first step, admitting. So now, what are you going to do from there? Ask yourself, what am I going to do from here? What am I going to change? I realized this was not okay. I should have done this. But am I going to grovel in the fact of what I should have done, or am I going to make a difference, and am I going to change? That's what you have to ask yourself, and that's how you have to promote yourself. But promoting yourself, setting expectations, reaching those goals, changing them along the way if things change. You know, new things come up. You might like something else. You might change a hobby. It doesn't matter, but always checking in on yourself and just making sure that everything's okay. Check your circle, check your friends, check the energy that you have around you, clear out your social media. And another thing too as well, another thing that I have done and that I've been doing since the last video is I've been taking social media breaks. And let me tell you guys something, social media breaks are important. Let me say that one more time. Social media breaks are important. As social media becomes more broad, it's becoming more accessible to everybody. You know, companies are now having access to our profiles to promote certain products and to advertise, etc. Social media has become a spiritual war zone. And if you don't know what I mean by spiritual war zone, is there's so many different energies going on social media. Now there's, you know, there's celebrities promoting different weight loss supplements, surgeries, BBLs, like different things, weight loss teas, and so many different things are going on that are distracting us from our own lives and thinking. And a lot of us are actually living vicariously through people. So a lot of us are following celebrities who we like. Nothing wrong with following celebrities, but when it comes to a point that you are living vicariously through a celebrity, wanting their life, living through their eyes, and ignoring your life to go into social media to live somebody else's because you don't like the way your life is, there is a problem. You are too submerged into social media, into the internet, and into celebrities' lives that you are distracting yourself from your own progression, and time's only going forward. It does not go back. And the thing is, you are losing years off of your life worrying about somebody who doesn't even know who you are. And let that sink in for a moment, because there's nothing wrong, as I said, with liking celebrities, respect them. I have a lot of, you know, artists that I enjoy and I have on Instagram and I follow because I like their artistry. I like their music. You know, there's something I like about them. However, I take time to take a break from that, because their life is their life. My life is my life. What am I doing in my life? Because this person right now is in LA, in like a condo, about to go on tour, you know, eating good, living good. And I'm here watching their life, trying to figure out how I'm going to pay rent, how I'm going to, you know, put groceries in my fridge, how I'm going to, you know, have clothes on my back, different types of things. I cannot lose sight of my own life and where I'm going, because they're already living their dream and they're making their dream. I want to make mine, and you should be wanting to make yours. So if there's anything that I urge you guys to do is to take a social media break. It's okay. You can take it for a week. You can take it for a day. Anything that makes you uncomfortable to the point where you're like, I have not been on my phone for this long, that is a long break. You know, so I encourage you guys to take a social media break. Put your phone down. Go enjoy life. There's so many things to do. You know, it's summertime. Go on a walk, go on a hike, go sightseeing, go to Wonderland, go do something that you have not done before. Live life, go see life. You know, we get lost in the social media, the internet, you know, the virtual reality, the virtual world, and it's to the point that we are becoming antisocial, and we don't even know how to talk to each other anymore. A lot of us don't even know how to meet new people. Dating apps, guys, are going to become obsolete very soon, because meeting new people is almost impossible unless it's over a phone, or it's on an app or something like that, because it does not really happen like that anymore. People are very awkward now because face-to-face is no longer necessary when there's so many other ways to communicate and to meet with people. So I even see people on the meta world, I'm not sure, the Facebook virtual reality thing, and a lot of them have been staying in their house for weeks. not going to work, nothing, and been living in this virtual world and not even caring about the real world. And it's the truth, guys. It's easy to get sucked into these things. It's spiritual warfare, and lusting over different people, and just different types of things going on. And I just encourage you guys, just pull yourselves away. I promise you guys, you will thank me. You will thank you. You'll thank your mental health. And you'll also start to realize the things that are going on around you. And you'll also start to realize that life is sweet, life is good, life is nice. You know, life is enjoyable, life is worth living, life is worth enjoying every single moment. You know, tomorrow is never promised, and always remember that, because it's the truth. Tomorrow is never promised. And if you were off this world tomorrow, if you were gone tomorrow, what would be the one thing or the last memory of yourself? Would it be you just sucked in on your phone in your room? Or would it be you enjoying something, doing something that you've never done, having fun? Guys, have fun, live your lives, be safe, be mindful, and just treat yourselves kind, and treat yourselves well. So that's that on, you know, mental health breaks and just mental check-ins and check-ins and whatnot. So other things I've been doing, as I said in the other video, learning how to cook, and not just learning how to cook because I'm a good cook, but just learning new recipes and learning how to cook things that I haven't tried before, and just opening up my horizons and becoming more open with trying new things and experimenting new cooking techniques and methods. And those of you who don't use Facebook anymore, I encourage you to get back on Facebook, unless you can watch this on another app. But there's this page called Tasty where they post different recipes, and there's other pages like that. Like, you'll see different things that are related to those pages, and they have different recipes. And I'm telling you, there's some good recipes on there. I've actually wrote down some recipes that I've seen on there that I'll never forget. I tweaked them a little bit, just a little bit, but some good recipes. And I'm telling you, like, my cooking style has changed so much. I've become so diverse. I have become like very open to trying new seasonings, new things that because guys, I was very like straightforward into my own seasonings, the things that I use, the certain pepper sauces that I use. But I realized, you know, there's actually some good, you know, alternatives. There's other good things that you can try. I'm not gonna lie. So I definitely have been a lot more open, more willing. And as I have been doing that, I feel like I've been eating at a restaurant like every day that I cook, because my cooking just changes as I see different things and I incorporate them into my own cooking technique, but with my own twist on it. So it's very cool. It's like an infusion. So as I said, check out new like recipe things on Facebook and even on YouTube, different things. And like, guys, even if you don't know how to cook in 2023, you cannot tell me that it's not hard, or that it's hard to learn how to cook in 2023, because they have so many different outlets to learn how to cook. There's still cookbooks, but you know, if you have your cell phone, so modern day, you can go on YouTube, as I said, Facebook, Instagram, different things. You can watch TikTok shorts. So many people posting up different recipes of good food. Like, you guys can surprise your loved ones, even yourself, and push yourself to points that you didn't think you could, even baking. And that's hey, that's a hobby. You know, if you want to learn to cook or bake, why don't you just go on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, they're all there, and learn a new recipe and try something. Take a picture of it, post it, and big yourself up, because again, that's an improvement. That's something that you picked up. That's a skill that you'll never forget. Learning how to cook is always good, especially if you love your mouth as much as I do. Knowing how to cook is essential. Okay, essential. What else have I been doing? I've been doing a lot, but when I'm on the camera and I have to talk about it, I start forgetting, so just bear with me. I moved actually 2 times. So the last time I was moving into my other place, I lived there for a year, and then I moved again into my new place, and I've been here for about 8 months. And honestly, I'm at one of the best places that I could be in right now. Is my own little, it's a 2-bedroom apartment, and I'm at peace. I never, like, so those who know me, I don't like living with people, like roommates, those kind of things. I can't do it because I'm very particular on how I like my house in order. And unless you're people who know me well, or people who I'm very close with, I don't like people in my domain like that, because again, I'm a clean freak. I have things in order, and I don't like mess, okay? I do not like when people mess up my place. I will go off. I don't like a messy place. That's my pet peeve. But yeah, mentally I'm great. I'm in a better space now. I'm in a space where I can exercise my creativity and, as I said, broaden my horizons, try new things, be independent. You know, being independent is nice. You know, I'm 23 years old, and I remember I told myself before 25, I want to be on my own, in my own place, no roommates, nothing like that. My own place, my own spot that I can, this is not home. And let me tell you something, right? For me, anybody else, you guys are all, free to have your own opinion on this. But for me, I do not consider renting my place. This is a place. This is a stepping stone towards me getting permanent housing, which would be buying my own actual property, having a deed in my name. That is what I am working for. And until I get that, I won't rest. That's one of my goals. That's on my list. So I told you guys something that's on my list. I want to own a home before I am 50, and I will, God willing. So yeah, I've been in this place for about 8 months, and honestly, it's been the best 8 months. I have been, able to just decompress from the world. Sometimes when you want to shut off the world when it becomes too much, to be able to come to your own place. I have 2 dogs, just take them for a walk, just enjoy the quietness and the stillness of life. And just sometimes you get caught up in the world and you just need a moment to just breathe and decompress. Having your own place allows you to do that, honestly, and just to be who you are. Nobody can judge you. Nobody can tell you nothing. It's amazing. It's great. What else though? I've changed jobs. So I was working as a counselor at a nonprofit organization. I have left that organization, and now I am actually kind of doing my own thing. I have been working a lot more on my music and other things like that. So I've had a lot of time to really find out what I wanted to do, because for me, it's important to have breaks in between jobs to see if I'm happy where I'm at. So a lot of the times in between a job, if I leave that job, because a better opportunity or whatever it may be, I always take a little bit of a break, usually maybe a few weeks, just to reflect on how my time at that previous workplace was, to see if I'm really, if I liked it, if there's anything I would want to change, how my mental health is, like a mental health update. I'm telling you guys, this is essential. But, how I was, how's everything going? How am I feeling? Am I ready to just jump back in another job? Do I need a bit of a break? Like, what's going on? And I'm doing that now currently, and I'm realizing that the direction in which I want to take my life, career-wise, has altered a little bit. Now I kind of want to put more time into my future career endeavors in terms of my artistry and achieving my dreams and really working on achieving my dreams. Because I find when I was working a full-time 9-to-5, Monday to Friday, I really only had the weekends to explore my creativity. And even then, when you have the weekends, it's almost like you feel the weekend goes by in like 2 hours because you've been working for the whole week. And then all of a sudden you have those 2 days that you want to just rest. Then having to like sing and write music and such like that, it consumes my whole weekend. And then I feel like I didn't have any time to rest. So I'm taking this much needed time to rest, to work on my music, to work on my craft, to look at new opportunities, to look at performing live, doing live performances, going to different restaurants, different things, doing gigs there, and just like really exploring my opportunities. And this has been the best break that I've ever taken. This has been the first time that I could really actually dedicate myself 100% to my dreams and to really work for that. Because let me tell you something, right? It's good to have dreams. It's good to have dream boards. It's good to have aspirations. It's good to have things in which you want to achieve by a certain time. But let me tell you something. If you're not doing the work, then those are meaningless. Those are nothing but fairy tales. Those are just what ifs. But I want to turn those what ifs into a has done. I want to actually achieve those things. I want to actually put my mind and my fantasies and my dreams into work. I want to materialize them. I want to taste them. You know what I mean? I really want to achieve my goals, and I know that I will, God willing. And I've been working towards that. As I said, new things coming out, and it's really amazing when you take the moment to see what God has done for your life. It's really amazing taking it all in, and just, it's overwhelming when you actually see that God be doing wonders, and we just be getting caught up in the ways of the world and just forgetting that God's just blessing us each and every day. And as I said, yeah, take a moment to thank God. Take a moment to pause this video and just thank God for life. And just, if you feel it, you just thank God for life, because I thank God for life. And I thank him for everything that he's done in my life. And he's really doing his big one. He's really doing his thing. So I'm happy about that. Any hobbies I've been picking up? Oh yes, so for me, my grandmother was a seamstress, and she used to love to make us clothes. She's no longer here on this earth, rest in peace, but I would always wish that she would teach me how to sew. So during the pandemic, I learned how to sew, and I sewn 5 pairs of pants that I had holes in them. 2 of them I deliberately put a hole in them. They were my favorite pants, so I had to make sure that I fixed it, and these pants were sold out, so I couldn't buy them anymore, and I actually learned how to do it. I can finally sew at a slower capacity for now, but it's still a start. That's still something that I wanted to achieve, so that was another check off my list, by the way. And yeah, I'm proud of myself. Amongst that, I have been volunteering a lot in the community, working on the community more. I did want to give back because working in social services, you do see that there's a need for helping hands, whether you're paid or not paid, just dedicating your time to really give back to the community, something that's essential, and that's something that I was doing. Currently, the opportunity that I was at previously is no longer open. But I was going to soup kitchens, and I was working at nonprofit organizations, talking about God and spreading the word of God, and those things that I was doing were free. And it was actually at a job that I was working at the time, so sometimes I'd go after work and I would volunteer my time, and it was definitely something that was worth it and something that I enjoyed doing. You get to learn a lot about people. I love learning about people and different life stories, and sometimes when you talk to the individuals who are homeless or addicted to substances and such, a lot of them have normal lives like me and you. Where they're all normal people, really, and a lot of them had normal lives like me and you. They were all born, they all bleed blood, they're all human, we're all human. So my perspective has changed, though. Working with these individuals at a personal level and actually getting to hear their stories, the way that I see these certain things change and altered, I feel for them a lot more, and I understand where they're coming from. And that was something that, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little ignorant to previously, but I educated myself and I learned, because ignorance is the mother of all evils, because it's a lack of education, and education is powerful. So imagine a lack of education, just as much dangerous as that could be as somebody who has the education. Both of them can be dangerous, both of them can be harmful to yourself and others, and both of them have their pros and cons. Because the more you know, the more you realize how the world really is, and the less you know of the dangers of the world. So it's definitely a balance. There's a balance in life. You don't want to know everything, but you don't want to not know things as well. You want to be in the middle of that. So yeah, my heart goes out to them. I have a big heart for them, and I love giving back to them. If you have any opportunities in your city, in your town, in your country to volunteer your time, I recommend you do so. And working with the nonprofit organizations, and working with the vulnerable sectors, and working with either with youth, different individuals, just wherever you can volunteer time, I highly encourage you to do that. It's a very humbling experience, and it's a very educational experience, because a lot of us, we paint education with just school. And education, you learn your whole life. You learn beyond school. Before you even went to school, you were learning from your parents, from your loved ones, from your guardians. Education is a never-ending cycle, and it's something that we continually do even outside of school. So never limit your education to just books and textbooks and teachers and professors in college and university. Education is a general thing. We learn in every aspect of life. Even watching this video, you're probably learning things that you didn't know, if you didn't know them, and gaining new skills potentially, and just having new aspects and new views on certain things. So learning is definitely a very broad thing. Learning lives and basic skills for life, and how to not only survive, but to get through life safely is something that's very important. Life skills. And I think volunteering, speaking to different individuals, learning about different people, learning about different cultures, backgrounds, races, sexes, sexual orientations, different things like that is all part of the education process, and it's all vital to making a less ignorant version of you. Somebody who is more aware of certain things, and more aware of the world, and aware of the differences that go on in the world, because it all ties hand in hand. It's all important. And I'm telling you guys, the more things that you do know, and the more things that you educate yourselves on, especially when it comes to differences in people, the more open you are going to be to the world, and the more loving you're going to be, and the more loving you're going to be able to give back. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I was just talking too much on that, so I do apologize. Sometimes I go in huge soliloquies, but I just love talking, and I love using social media as an outlet for learning and just wanting to learn. And if anybody has any questions or any things that you want to tell me from this video in the comments, just let me know, because I'm always down to read the comments, always down to respond, always down to learn, always down for a debate, a friendly debate, of course, and just like different views and different aspects on things. So I'm definitely excited to see if anybody has those questions. Again, let me know. And you can always reach out to me on my social medias. I'll also leave the links there at the below there as well. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok as well. Yeah, I do have a TikTok. I did make a TikTok, by the way, and I do have like like covers on them and freestyles and different things. So check out my TikTok. I'm gonna put the link below as well. I'm just cringing because sometimes when I make the TikTok videos and I replay them, I cringe before I post them, but it's okay. I'll link my TikTok below. You can follow it and check it out. Now let me know what you think as well. What else? You know, this is my first video in 2 years, so I apologize if it's a little choppy or from, you know, choking up a little bit or stuttering. I didn't know what to talk about at first when the camera first went on me, and I had to do like at least 10 tries before I got it right. So bear with me. I will get better as I progress and as I have more things to talk about. But this was kind of like an introduction video as to what I've been doing and a little bit of an update. And basically just to conclude it, like, I have been good. I have been blessed. I do have more things I do want to talk about. I do want to touch in other videos, but this is part 1 of J Rose's diaries. So I definitely want you to stay tuned as different things happen in my life. You guys can follow me on different journeys, going on trips and different things within Canada, and, you know, hopefully when I broaden it outside of Canada as well. I do hope to do collaborations in the near future with other YouTubers as well. Again, I have like a whole dream board and a whole kind of diagram as to how I want my YouTube stuff to go and the direction that I want to take it. So it sounds a little confusing when I explain it to you, but it will make sense coming soon, I promise. And yeah, like, I hope you guys are blessed. I hope you guys are good. Why don't you guys update me on what's been going on in your lives in the comments, and just, as I said, let me know if you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about. I do apologize this video wasn't as long as I anticipated it. Again, I ran out of things to talk to, and this is my first video in 2 years, as I said. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Follow me on all social medias. Handles will be in the description below. Make sure to follow my TikTok. And also too, I do want to let you guys know that I have been selected in the voting pool for the open act. The open act, I'm going to leave the link in the comments below, but essentially it is for the opportunity to have an opening on stage in New York City in September. It's going to be one of the first openers of the show, and I think Lizzo and some other cool artists are going to be there. Some other dope artists will be there. I don't know all the kinks of it fully yet, and I will update you guys as I make more videos, but I'm going to leave the link below so you guys can vote for me. Sorry? So it's July 17th at the opening. I was just talking to somebody over there who has all the information. It's July 17th that the voting pool opens. And I need all the votes I can get. Again, if I win, then I get an opening in New York City, amongst other dope artists, as I said. And I believe the actual performance would be this year, so that's very exciting. You guys can read more about it there below. You can also read the different stories that I have posted in there about how I came to love music, why I love music, what I would do if I won the contest, because the contest also includes some monetary value there, in which I use to fund my career, my musical endeavors. So vote for me, read more about it below. If you're interested, if you could vote for me, I'd highly appreciate that. But if you could also subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that as well. I have 37 subscribers now. I know that's small, but as I get back into YouTube, I know that's going to increase. And as I actually really put in my work, that's going to increase, because you know, putting in work definitely results in a better outcome, and just, you can actually see the progression. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, like, subscribe, share. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you have been up to. If you have anything cool you'd like to share, let me know in the comments, or, as I said, message me on any social media account. Their handles will be below. Thank you. Did my phone die?